Good day, I'm Amaya Alred,
And I'm Josh Rogers.
and this is the new National Television Report for August 5th, 1776. In Boston on September 25th, 1690, Public Occurrence first ever edition was published. The newspaper was printed by Richard Pierce of Boston and was edited by Benjamin Franklin. The newspaper had 4 pages with 2 columns, and the last page of the paper was left blank for the other folks to add some news they had found out on their own and passed it on to others. 4 days after its first publication, it was shut down due to unreliable reporting. Consequently, its first publication also became its last.
A newspaper called the Pennsylvania Gazelle is grabbing America's attention. Bought, written, and published by Benjamin Franklin and his partner Hugh Meredith, this newspaper has several new parts that other newspapers have yet to utilize. Apart from the normal structure of a newspaper, the Pennsylvania Gazelle features essays and letters, while also having the first ever publication of a political cartoon. Franklin also used the newspaper to publish his experiments with electricity.
The title of one Benjamin Franklin's many books is called Join or Die Woodcut. It is designed to unite the American colonies against the French and their native allies during the French and Indian War. It is thought to be the first political cartoon that advocated unification of the colonies. The Join or Die cartoon had made the colonies and the politics to work together and help win the French and Indian War. It had ended in the war in 1763. And now we go to Reagan Benson with an amazing interview with Benjamin Franklin.
Wait, how do I know if they're done talking?
Thank you, Maya. I am here with journalist and founding father Benjamin Franklin. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Of course. I was born in 1706 in Boston, Massachusetts, and later moved to Pennsylvania. I've made a career as a printer, writer, politician, inventor, scientist, volunteer firefighter, librarian, and even a postmaster.
How did you get your career started in journalism?
Well, I started working with my brother as his apprentice when I was 12. I started by setting letters on the printers and selling papers door to door. But I actually really wanted to write. I knew my brother wouldn't like me writing, so I started sending in anonymous letters under the name Simon Stuka. After my brother refused to give up the writer of some articles he printed that caused public outrage, he went to jail for 2 weeks. And I started printing the paper under my name. I eventually got out of my apprenticeship and ran away from my brother and started to try to print for myself.
What are some of the newspapers you've written and owned?
Well, when I was 12, I of course apprenticed under my brother. Now I own the Pennsylvania Gazette, a paper I purchased with a business partner in 1729.
What are some of the biggest stories you have covered in your career?
I wrote a piece called Public Education for Our Youth. I also wrote Poor Richard's Almanac. I also contributed to the writings of the Declaration of Independence.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the viewers at home?
As far as journalism goes, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing.
Well, I hope the viewers at home will take that advice. And thank you for joining us today, Mr. Franklin. Back to you, Josh.
The trial of John Peter Zenger has taken America by storm. Accused of printing and publishing false, scandalous, and seditious libels. Starting on August 4th, 1735, in a small court in the New York City Hall, Zenger pleaded not guilty, which the jury decided to be true after heated arguments between attorneys Andrew Hamilton and Chief Justice DeLacy. Eventually, the jury's foreman, Thomas Hunt, declared the verdict is not guilty.
Thank you for tuning in today's edition of New National Television, and have a wonderful rest of your day.